3dpack.ing gives you two main ways to use it, which offers flexibility.
Two ways.
Yeah, depending on what you need. There's an AI mode, which is designed for quick and easy input.
Okay.
And then there's a more detailed manual mode if you need really precise control.
AI mode. That sounds interesting. How does that make things simpler?
The AI mode is really all about ease of use. You pretty much just describe what you need to pack and the container you're using.
In plain language, like just type it in.
Exactly. It's almost like having a conversation with the tool.
So could I just type something like, I have a bunch of boxes for a standard truck?
You could start like that, yeah.
Oh.
And you can get more specific, too. For instance, you might say, I have a 20-foot container, maybe.
Okay.
And when you describe your items, you give the basic measurements, length, width, height, and their weight.
Standard stuff.
Right. But what's really helpful is you can add important details about how the items need to be handled.
Handling requirements. Like what? Give me an example.
Sure. So if you've got fragile items, you could specify non-stackable.
So nothing goes on top.
Exactly. The AI makes sure nothing's placed on them. Or if certain boxes have to stay upright, you can tell it, keep upright.
That's useful.
Yeah. And the system also knows that most pallets are pretty stable and won't tilt, which is important for planning a safe, secure load.
So the AI takes all that information and just figures out the best arrangement. Like a 3D puzzle solver.
That's pretty much the core idea, yes.
Yeah.
And you can even give the AI some general preferences for the packing itself.
Preferences.
Yeah, like if you're worried about height limits, you could ask it to minimize height.
Okay.
Or if the length of the load matters more, maybe minimize length. You can even tell it to think about using multiple containers if you suspect everything won't fit in just one.
That sounds quite intuitive, actually. What about the other one? Manual mode. When would I use that?
Manual mode is really for when you need very precise control, really fine-grained control over the whole packing process.
Right.
In this mode, you're manually entering the exact dimensions of your container and really specific details for every single item type you want to pack.
Including units and things.
Yes, exactly. You choose the units you're working with, like centimeters or inches. It's definitely a more hands-on approach for when accuracy is absolutely critical.
Makes sense. Any special features in manual mode?
Yeah, few useful ones. You can define extra space around the inside walls of the container.
Why would you do that?
Well, maybe you need a bit of buffer room, for easier loading or unloading later.
Oh, okay. Good point.
There's also something called fill mode, which is quite clever.
Fill mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say you have a huge quantity of the same item, but you don't know exactly how many will fit. Use fill mode, tell it the item, and it calculates the maximum number that can possibly fit in the container.
Oh, that would be fantastic for bulk shipments, wouldn't it?
Definitely. Saves a lot of guesswork.
What other kinds of adjustments can you make in this manual mode?
You can set quite a few rules or constraints for how items get packed.
Like stacking rules.
Exactly. You can say no understacking if items at the bottom can't support weight, or no overstacking if items on top can't have anything put on them.
Okay.
You can also assign priority levels. So high priority goods end up being easier to get to.
That's smart.
And you can even tell it to prevent tilting for specific items, essential if you've got delicate stuff or things with liquids.
Wow, okay. It sounds like you can really, really fine-tune the whole packing strategy.
Precisely. You also get to choose the loading direction.
Loading direction.
Yeah, you tell the system if you'll be loading from the back of the container towards the front, or maybe loading from the top down. Depends on your warehouse setup or the goods themselves.
Okay.
And there's one more, a group priority option. This stops items with different priorities from being stacked directly on top of each other.
That's a lot of detail control. So how does the tool actually figure out the best way? Are there different calculation settings or something?
Yes, good question. They offer different algorithms you can choose from.
Algorithms?
Yeah, basically different ways the computer thinks about the problem.
Yeah.
The default is optimal. It's designed to find a very good packing plan for most situations.
Optimal. Sounds good.
Then there's an aggressive algorithm.
Aggressive.
Yeah, sounds intense, but it just means it spends more processing time, more thinking time, exploring a wider range of possibilities.
So it might find an even better solution.
Sometimes, yeah, especially for really complex loads. And finally, there's a compact algorithm.
Compact. Denser packing.
Exactly. Focuses on the densest possible packing.
Yeah.
But they do advise using that one with a bit of caution if you have lots and lots of different items, as stability could become a factor.
Okay, that makes sense. You don't want it too compact if it's going to fall over.
Right.
And what's the capacity? Like, how many items can this thing handle?
They mention it can handle up to 2,000 boxes for each type of item you're packing.
Wow, 2,000 of one type. That's quite a lot.
It is. And you can choose whether you want it to optimize for just one container or figure out the packing across multiple containers if you have a bigger shipment.
Multi-container. Nice.
Yeah, and they even provide like an Excel spreadsheet template you can download and fill in with all your item details.
Right.
That could save a lot of time if you're dealing with big, complex loads.
Yeah, I can see that being useful. Okay, so it seems really flexible in how you input info and how it calculates. What makes 3dpack.ing, stand out? Are there other tools like this?
Well, they emphasize
Right.
that their underlying calculation method, their algorithm, is more advanced than many others, meaning it potentially leads to better packing results,
Yeah.
fitting more items into the same space, basically.
Yeah.
They actually highlight that they are the first LLM and only integrated third bin packer.
LLM, like a large language model, AI stuff.
It likely refers to that kind of sophisticated AI.
Yeah.
It helps the system understand your packing needs more intuitively, especially with that AI mode we talked about.
Interesting. So it's not just about the numbers you put in. The AI itself is doing some clever work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They point to features like optimizing for multiple containers at once, that precise stacking control, managing the loading direction, making sure weight is distributed properly for stability,
Right. Stability is crucial.
and the priority loading we discussed. They also mention using a well-established optimization technique called simulated annealing.
Simulated annealing sounds very technical.
It is a bit, but think of it like a really smart trial and error process. It explores tons of different packing options very quickly to find a highly efficient one. Its purpose is simple. Find the best packing solution for you.
Okay. So once you've put in the info, chosen your mode, maybe an algorithm, system does its thing, what do you actually see? Do you just get a list?
No, not at all. That's one of the best parts, I think.
Yeah.
3dpack.ing gives you a clear 3D visual representation of your packing plan.
Oh, a 3D picture. That's much better than a list.
Absolutely. It lets you see exactly how the items are arranged inside the container. Makes it so much easier to understand.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And the system keeps a history of your packing results.
Yeah.
So you can easily go back, look at old plans, or even share them with colleagues.
Sharing is good.
Yeah, and they have some neat visual tools, too. You can, slice through the 3D view horizontally or vertically.
Oh, like an MRI for boxes.
Huh, kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
It helps you get a better look at how everything's placed deep inside. And this is really practical. They even have a play loading animation.
An animation, what does that do?
It shows you, step by step, the order the item should be loaded in. It even considers things like gravity and the right sequence to make it stable as you load.
Wow, that sounds incredibly useful for the actual people doing the loading in the warehouse.
Exactly. It takes the plan off the screen and makes it actionable.
Consider the time, the money, maybe even the frustration you could potentially save by optimizing your packing, whether it's for business or even a big personal move.
Yeah, maybe just exploring that free starter plan on the 3dpack.ing website could be a really worthwhile first step.
See the potential for yourself. Experience that AI-driven 3D packing firsthand.
Exactly. It might just change the way you think about filling a box.